16th November. King Edward II and Hugh Despencer the Younger were captured by the forces of Mortimer, Isabella and Prince Edward. Despencer was imprisoned while Edward was placed in the custody of Henry of Lancaster. 24th November. Hugh Despencer the Younger was executed. Late November. After taking the Tower of London, Isabella took control of the government of the country. She arranged for a council of nobles and churchmen to meet and discuss the situation. 1327 January. The Council of Nobility and Churchmen met to discuss what to do about the king. It was decided that Edward II should be forced to abdicate in favor of his son. The 21st of January. Edward II became Edward of Carnarvon and his eldest son became King Edward III. Isabella and Mortimer would act as regents while the king was still a child. The 2nd of February. Edward's son was crowned King Edward III at Westminster Abbey. The 5th of April. Edward, now styled Edward of Carnarvon, was moved to Berkeley Castle because it was feared that opponents of the new regime would try to affect his estate. The 21st of September. Edward of Carnarvon died while in custody. Some historians believe that Edward escaped captivity and lived his life in obscurity and that it suited Isabella and Mortimer to spread the news that he had died. Edward II was an appalling king. He didn't have any of the qualities required in a 14th century ruler, and it was surely the best thing for England that he was deposed and replaced by his son, a much more competent ruler. However, I don't believe that Edward was a bad man, and in fact many of his character traits, though incomprehensible to his contemporaries, are very attractive to the modern mind. For example, Edward had a general preference for the company of peasants over his nobles, a fact heavily criticized by chroniclers of the time. But to a 21st century observer, a king with the common touch who could communicate with people much further down the social scale seems much more attractive. Edward loved pastimes such as building walls, digging ditches, thatching roofs and shoeing horses. Considered odd back then, Edward also enjoyed rowing and swimming and sailing his barge along the River Thames, buying cabbages from peasants on the banks to make soup with. He also loved music, dancing, romances and watching plays, signs of a cultured man. Edward was fiercely loyal and generous to those he loved, but perhaps not the most sensible trait in a king but attractive in a man, and he had a huge capacity to love and be loved. The wrong people maybe, but who of us can we choose who we love? Edward was mostly an easygoing man, although prone to violent outbursts of temper, like all his family. The last few years of Edward on the throne from 1322 and 1326 we can see Hugh Despencer the Younger was probably playing the part of King of England. So it's a sad ending for Edward II, and sadly he has gone down in history as one of England's worst kings, whereas his father Edward I and his son Edward III have went down in history as England's greatest kings.